evening, sports fans. Jeff Cook here for Adams Community Television, and I'm here with Greg Marvin. Greg is the coach of the Elks. We're at the Rec Park, Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. This is July 17th, 1990. And no, the audio you're hearing is not the live call. We had some technical difficulties, and apparently we're still having them here in the studio. But this will be a dubbed-in play-by-play of the game. We're in the Little League tournament, District 14, area number 1, Gettysburg versus Mechanicsburg. And we'll have those starting lineups for you in a moment. But today's game is a battle among two teams, each of whom won their initial contest in this tournament. Mechanicsburg beat York 3-0. And Gettysburg beat Redland 3-1. First for the visiting Mechanicsburg team, leading off and playing shortstop, number 21, Bob O'Pannell. Batting second, the right fielder, and wearing number 10, Brendan Gilligan. Batting third, number 20, the center fielder, John Florio. Number 23, playing third base, batting cleanup, Joel Culver. Batting 5, wearing number 17 and playing first base, Bryce Mitchum. Batting number 6 and wearing number 16, pitcher Ryan Woods. Hitting 7th at left field and wearing number 18, Jeff McGuire. And batting 8th and playing second base, number 11, Matt Fiddler. Followed by the 9-hole, Dan Hepner, catcher, wearing number 19. For Gettysburg, on the other hand, they lead off with second baseman S.L. Stanton. Number 3 is his jersey number. Brent Conover, number 7, bats second at shortstop, hitting third and catching number 8, Coy Mitchell. Batting cleanup, the right fielder, number 5, Joe Knox. Batting 5th, Trevor Smith, center fielder, wearing number 10. Batting 6th and pitching tonight, number 13, Brian Lindsay. Batting 7th and playing first base, number 11, Jeff Bowmaster. Batting 8th, playing third base, wearing number 2, Dave Stanek. And batting 9th, left fielder, number 1, Brian Smith. And Greg, I've at this point in the program, I asked Greg what his thoughts are or were on keys to the contest. And he spoke quite emphatically about defense being very important. And as you'll see, defense played a big part in this game. We'll pick up the live call in the bottom of the second inning. At that point, the audio tape will be as recorded on July 17th, 1990. This is Channel 28 on your Salmon's Dial, Adams Community Television, and we're pleased to bring you Little League action. This is postseason All-Star tournament action, and the winner of this tournament ultimately could end up at Williamsport. However, that is a long way down the road, and right now these two teams are thinking only about tonight's game. Greg Marvin is the owner and proprietor of Weishar Brothers Appliances in Gettysburg, and we're very pleased to have him as our guest analyst. Unfortunately, some of Greg's initial comments at the outset of the game will be lost. This dubbing is a prime example of the need of Adams Community Television to improve its base of equipment. Our programming can only be as good as the equipment we use. For this broadcast alone, we could have benefited from superior audio equipment as well as a more stable tripod. You'll see some of the action was a bit erratic at times. And now we're ready to start the game. Let's set that defense for you. For Gettysburg, Brian Lindsay is on the mound with Coy Mitchell behind the plate. And the first pitch is strike called. O'Pannell, the shortstop, leads off for Mechanicsburg. And the rest of that defense, S.L. Stanton at second, Brent Conover short, Dave Stanek is at third, in the outfield, left to right, Brian Smith, Trevor Smith in center, and Joe Knox in right. And now We're ready for further action here in the top of the first. O'Pannell digs in and Lindsay delivers. Drive into the gap in right center. And Smith and Knox try to track it down. O'Pannell rounds second and he heads all the way to third. There's the throw to Stanek. It's late and gets by him, but not enough for an advance. And O'Pannell is safe at third, leading off the game. Hit a drive into the gap in right center. Uncertain how they'll score, whether it's a triple or a double and an error. The outfielders had a little bit of trouble picking the ball up and getting it back into the infield, but O'Pannell never hesitated. He rounded second, hit third all the way. And that will bring up the number 2 hitter for Mechanicsburg, Brendan Gilligan. The pitch by Lindsay, swing and a miss. And apologize again for the static. Once we go back to the live call in the bottom of the second, there will be some additional static. Called strike 2, nothing into to Gilligan. But we're trying the best we can with the limited equipment we have. We're an all-volunteer organization. We truly, truly need your help. We need workers. We need income, capital. We need your contributions. We need your tapes, edited or unedited. We can edit them and get them ready for showing. So call us at 334-3000, and Gilligan strikes out for the first out of the inning, and O'Pannell's still at third with 1 out, and a fly ball by Florio could get the run home. Getting back to my plea, please call us. Call me, Jeff Cook, at 334-8516. We always have an answering machine at the 334-3000 number. Call us. We'll try to get back to you and work toward making Adams Community Television an even better resource for our community. And that pitch was wide. And Florio is ahead in the count here. We're in the top of the first. With me is Greg Marvin, a silent Greg, until we pick up action at the bottom of the second. And in the bottom of the second, we'll go right to the live call at the Rec Park. And now Florio trots back. And O'Pannell, by the way, came home on that wild pitch that you observed, and Mechanicsburg took a quick 1-0 lead here right in the top of the first. And now there are 2 outs and no one on base, and the batter is cleanup hitter, number 23, third baseman Joel Culver. And Culver, I understand, pitched in Mechanicsburg's first game, and there's a quick one-hopper to Lindsay over to Bowmaster for the out, and the side is retired. But for Mechanicsburg, in the top of the first, 1 hit, 1 run, 1 wild pitch, no errors. Depending on that scoring, there might have been 1 error in the outfield, and no men left on. So at the end of the half inning, Mechanicsburg won, Gettysburg coming to bat. And at the outset, Greg Marvin also talked about control and how key that was for Kevin Lindsay, or rather for Brian Lindsay. And so far, Brian Lindsay was in command of his pitches. Control was very good. O'Pannell, the leadoff hitter for Mechanicsburg, went with the pitch on the outside part of the plate and drove it into the gap. And now this is Ryan Woods. Getting back to Culver, it's my understanding against York that these games are 6 innings. He faced 18 men, retired all 18. Apparently a perfect game. And Stanton is hit by a pitch. Looked like a breaking ball that circled in around Sam Stanton's head and nicked him apparently on the helmet or the uniform, and he trots down to first base. He's obviously all right, but Woods didn't want to do that. So now Stanton's at first base with nobody out, and the batter is Brent Conover. Both Stanton and Conover went 2 for 4 in the first game against Redland. And the key will be getting on base here today as Stanton moves up to second on a wild pitch. The managerial staff For Gettysburg, the manager is Mick Schreiner. The coaches are Sam Green and Vernon Judy. On the other side of the ledger for Mechanicsburg, the manager is Bob O'Pannell, and the coaches Walt Florio, Ken Hepner, and Dan McGuire. And now Stanton scampers over to third on yet another wild pitch. And he's there, still with nobody out. And Brent Conover is the batter. This fall we have big plans at WACT, as we're going to be known from now on. We hope to bring you Blue Mountain League football and soccer games. And the hope is that we'll be able to tape the games Friday nights and play them for you Monday evenings, tentatively between 7 and 9. Our regular program hours would be the perfect lead-in for Monday Night Football, and catch all the highlights and action of Blue Mountain League Game of the Week. And now Conover drills a foul backing out of play, and Ryan Woods is still ahead in the count. And now he's ready to throw the pitch. Breaking ball well up in the strike zone. Beautiful day for baseball today. It's about 85 degrees. Virtually no wind. What wind there is blowing in, but should really not be a factor. And Woods with a pitch. Swing and a miss, and Conover goes down for the first out of the inning. And the batter will be Coy Mitchell. We also hope to bring you a preview show of the Blue Mountain League sports action sometime in the month of August. We hope you've enjoyed our programming so far. We've had quite a bit of positive commentary, and Woods leads Coy Mitchell, the number 3 hitter, off with a breaking ball that's high and inside. Mitchell quickly in front, 1-0. Woods with a 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. Evens the count at 1-1. And Woods is ready again with a pitch. Low. 2-1 is the count to Coy Mitchell. And Woods doesn't waste any time at all. He's into this windup. 3-1 to Mitchell. The ball gets away, and Stanton slides in safely. We've got a tie game here, 1-1. S.L. Stanton hit by a pitch. Circle the bases one at a time on wild pitches, and he crosses the plate with the first run of the game for Gettysburg, and we're all tied at 1. And now the count is 2-1 to Coy Mitchell. Pleased to have Greg Marvin as our guest tonight, and special thanks to expert camera person John Tannen. And Mitchell swings and misses to even the count at 2-2. As you can tell, when I stop talking, we have a static problem. Part of the problem here at WACT, and Mitchell flags and misses a curveball, and he's the second strikeout victim for Ryan Woods. 2 down, nobody on, and a run in, and the batter will be Joe Knox. Joe Knox, the winning pitcher in Gettysburg's opening victory over Redland. And he hits a hard 2-hopper to first baseman Bryce Mitchum, who steps on the bag to retire the side. For Gettysburg, no runs, or rather 1 run on no hits, no errors, and no men left on. At the end of 1 full inning, Mechanicsburg 1, Gettysburg 1. And now we're right into second inning action here. Top of the second, Bryce Mitchum leading off the game with a double into the gap. Went after Lindsay's first offering, and he's a leadoff runner at second base with the batter, pitcher Ryan Woods, with a chance to help his own cause. Takes a strike. And Lindsay bluffs the throw, but Mitchum's back with no problem. And Lindsay's ready again. Wide. 1-1 is the count. Swing and a miss. 1-2. Lindsay's ahead of Ryan Woods. The rules here in Little League do not permit leads. The runners must hold the base until the ball passes the plate. Nice curveball by Brian Lindsay. Got it out, got it over the plate, and Ryan Woods is called out looking. First out of the inning, and the batter will be left fielder Jeff McGuire. Mitchum still at second base, and Lindsay with a pitch. Just misses that outside corner, and McGuire is ahead in the count, 1-0. Lindsay ready again, doesn't waste any time. And McGuire fouls it back to even the count at 1-1. 1 out. Bryce Mitchum with a leadoff double at second. We're in the top of the second inning here, all tied at 1. Audio being dubbed in the studio after some technical difficulties at the ball field. And now Lindsay's ahead of McGuire, 1-2. And we still don't have those technical difficulties fully resolved. That's why we're counting on you. How about sponsorship of the Blue Mountain League Game of the Week? We'd love to have one of our local businesses help us out with funding for that project. Give me a call at 334-3000 or 334-8516. And swing and a miss. McGuire strikes out, and now Lindsay can see his way out of this inning. 2 down, man on second, Bryce Mitchell, and the batter is second baseman Matt Fiddler. The leadoff double by Mitchum, and he's still stranded there. Strike 1 is the call. Lindsay would like to work out of this jam. All he needs to do is get Fiddler. And then when we head into the bottom of the second, we'll go right back to the live call at the scene with yours truly, Jeff Cook, and guest analyst Greg Marvin, manager for the Elks. I'm sure you fans will be relieved to be finished with the dubbing. Apologize for further technical difficulties through the broadcast, but we're doing the best we can with the resources we have. Excellent camera work tonight by John Tannen. Here's the pitch by Lindsay, high in the strike zone. These umpires keep this action moving, and these games move along quite briskly. It's not the least bit unusual for a 6-inning game to be finished in under an hour. And that pitch is wide, and Mitchell catches it, and the count is all even to Matt Fiddler. Lindsay's ready with a pitch. One hopper. Lindsay grabs it, throws it over to Bowmaster for the out, and the side is retired. For Mechanicsburg in the second inning, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 man left on. After 1.5, the teams are tied, 1 apiece. And now we go to the live call, hopefully with minimal static interruption. Goes to that pitch and drives it to 1-1. He was 1 for 2 against Redland. Playing center field tonight. It'll be Smith, Brian Lindsay, and Jeff Bowmaster here in the bottom of the second. Swing and a miss. 1-2, and Woods is ahead in the count. High chopper over the pitcher's head, and he beats it out. Shortstop Bob O'Pannell did everything he could, but the ball had too much hang time, and Trevor Smith has an infield hit leading off the bottom of the second.
Brian Lindsay's up now. He's tall and lanky. He gets the right pitch, he can put it out. I found out this year through my pitcher that we kept it inside and low on him. He couldn't handle it.
Let's see what Woods does to him. There's an inside pitch, double play ball. O'Pannell They don't get the double play, but they had a shot at it. Lindsey hustled down the line. Trevor Smith retired on a fielder's choice. I'm sorry, Greg.
You hate to take the bat out of a big hitter's hands, but if that would have been me, I would have bunted him to move the runner up. At least to have him in scoring position on a base hit.
And it looked like he did swing at a low and inside pitch, exactly what you were talking about.
Yes, and he didn't handle it very well. He just got a little piece of the ball, enough off the handle, and put it to the shortstop.
And Jeff Bowmaster is behind in the count, 1 strike. And now he rips a ball down a first baseline foul, and Woods is quickly in front of the count. 0-2 to Jeff Bowmaster. What about scouting? You get much advanced scouting information on these teams and the individual players, Greg?
Not really. The only scouting that we can do is come out and watch them when they practice here, and you don't really get a true read on the kids then.
Foul tip, and the home plate umpire took one for the team on that one, off the toe, and that's smarts. He's going to take a little bit of a breather here to get his composure back. And Woods is still well up in the count to Jeff Bowmaster. Brian Lindsey's at first, reaching base on a fielder's choice with 1 out. And now the brave man in blue is ready, and we're ready to resume action. And Woods with the 0-2 pitch. There's another ground ball to O'Pannell. Second base 1. Not in time to turn 2. But it was almost a deja vu of the play before that. 6-4 on the force out, and Bowmaster safe at first on a fielder's choice. And now there are 2 outs and a man at first, and here's Dave Stanek to bat.
Very quick hand this boy has. If he can drive it right down the third baseline, it could mean a run.
With 2 outs, I guess it doesn't matter. They can't run with a pitch until it passes the plate anyway, so they can't even get an extra lead when they're 2 outs.
Right. If you notice in the umpire's pocket that's standing on the infield there, he has a red...
Rope, deep. That's off the wall and left. Bowmaster's heading for third. He's out. We'll give Stanek a double. I guess you have to give him a single when the guy gets thrown out at third. But Jeff McGuire threw out Bowmaster with a perfect strike. The umpire's right on top of the play. The ball was there in plenty of time, and that had to hurt.
3 more feet up, and he wouldn't have had to worry about it. It would have been a home run.
Well, he certainly got the sweet spot on that delivery and drove it on 1 hop off the fence. And unfortunately, you hate to end the inning at third base at home. That's one of the cardinal rules, but that's how it happened for Gettysburg. And at the end of 2 full, the score is 1-1. We're ready for third inning action here, and leading off for Mechanicsburg will be their catcher, Dan Hepner. 1-1 into the third inning. Swing and a miss. Some interesting scoring in the scoring decisions, rather, in the bottom of the second. We'll get to that in a moment. Stanton throws out Hepner for the first out of the inning.
A little bit of bobble there with him trying to get it out of the ball glove, but he finally did get it out, and he had enough arm to throw him out at first.
It's one of the nice things about second base. You have a little bit of time to play with it before getting it over to first. But Gettysburg ended that inning with a 7-5. Left fielder McGuire throwing out Bowmaster at third to end the threat. And now leadoff batter Bob O'Pannell, who tripled and scored to lead off this game. And Lindsey's in front of him, a ball and 0-1, and Stan can't find the handle on this one. Ball was well hit by O'Pannell, but Stan had it in plenty of time, and O'Pannell legged it out. I'm sure they'll score that E4.
Yes, it handcuffed him right there at the spot. I mean, it was a well-hit ball right at him, and he just didn't have a chance to find it.
And he couldn't find the handle. He still had time to throw him out. The ball was hit so hard, but Oh. All right, Gettysburg. O'Pannell is wiped out on the base path. Let's recap that play for you. Coy Mitchell tried to pick O'Pannell off, and the throw got by Bowmaster. It didn't look like that bad of a throw. That wasn't a planned play, was it, Greg?
No, he's been trying to do that. The first game they played, he tried to pick one off at first. But Joey Knox made a good backup on that and threw the boy right out at third base.
Fine throw by Joe Knox to Stanek to apply the tag for the second out. And then Gilligan grounds out to first to end the inning. And for Mechanicsburg in the third, no runs, no hits, nobody left on. We go to the bottom of the third. We're tied at 1.
Let's go, Big Ant. Let's go, guys.
Gettysburg batting the bottom of the third. They'll send up Brian Smith, and then the top of the order, S.L. Stanton and Brent Conover. We talked about strange scoring plays. That inning, the last half inning, had a 9-5 play from right field to third base. And Smith offered at it, and Woods is in front of the count, 0-1. Let's talk about the managers and coaches. For Mechanicsburg, the manager is Bob O'Pannell. The coach is Walt Florio, Ken Hepner, and Dan McGuire. Fly ball. And caught at first base by Bryce Mitchum. For Gettysburg, the manager is Mick Schreiner, and the coaches are Sam Green and Vernon Judy. 1 out, and that'll bring up S.L. Stanton. He was hit by a pitch, advanced on a couple of pass ball or wild pitches, and then came home on yet another wild pitch.
Maybe he can get things started for Gettysburg here again by either a walk or maybe a base hit.
Well, he certainly wasn't intentional. He got hit by a high curveball that just somehow barely nicked his uniform or helmet. We're not sure what happened, but
that
now
pitch almost got him again.
Yeah, a little chin music, as they say, and he's up in front of the count, 2-0 though. And now it's 3-0, and I'm sure he'll be taking all the way on this one.
Well, if he don't, there's something wrong. 3-0 count, you should always take on that.
Would these players have a take sign?
I believe, but I have no idea what it is.
All right. And let's look like he was trying a distraction with the bunt look, and he took a called strike, so now it's a 3-1 count as Woods is into his windup. And now the count is all even, and Woods has come back from 3-0, and now it's full.
Now it's time to move into the plate and dig in.
Struck him out. Third strikeout for Woods. Lindsay has also struck out 3 so far. So these pitchers are moving this game along nicely. And Brent Conover to the plate. Strike. 0-1 to Brent Conover. Strike 2. And Woods is quickly ahead in the count. 0-2. Brent Conover. Got to protect that plate now. 2 outs and nobody on. Nothing square about a 2-out rally if he can get something going. But a nice bender, breaking pitch by Woods, fooled Conover, struck him out, and the side is retired in order. And at the end of 3 full innings, the score is tied. Mechanicsburg 1, Gettysburg 1. John Florio will lead off for Mechanicsburg. It'll be Florio, Culver, and Mitchum, the heart of the order here in the top of the 4th. First pitch from Lindsay is outside.
To enlighten the people a little bit, this tournament here is District 14. You can go on to into another district, and then that, as long as you keep winning, you get the chance to go to Williamsport, which is where the Little League World Series is held. And if you've never been up there, get a chance and go up and see the Little League World Series.
I'm sure many of the viewers have seen the finals on Wide World of Sports, but apparently it's quite an experience to be there. Long fly ball to left field. He got under it just enough, and Brian Smith was able to track it down. A little bit of heart palpitation there. Correction, thank you, Greg. It's Alex Baldermanshine is in left field now, so he's the one who made that call. He's in for Brian Smith in left field. Alex Baldermanshine. Fouled off. This is cleanup hitter Joel Culver. 0-1 is the count. And that's wide. It's 1-1. One down here in the top of the fourth. This game is moving quickly. So far, a pitcher's duel. And that one was a little low and outside. And it's 2-1. Culver ahead in the count here. Fouled off. This is Jeff Cook for WACT, Adams Community Television. I'm here with my guest analyst, Greg Marvin, and cameraman tonight is expert camera person, John Tannen. A real pleasure to have John working with us again tonight. And Culver stays alive. 2-2 is the count. One out, nobody on. Looks like the kind of a game where it might come down to a wild pitch, a pass ball, an error. It could definitely be a one-run type of game.
Yes, it can, and I think that the boys are very tense right now. And he just went down on a low strike on the outside corner.
Beautiful pitch, and definitely too close for Culver to take with 2 strikes on him, and he's called out looking. And that is the 4th strikeout for Brian Lindsay. Bryce Mitchum to the plate. He grounded out to the... Oh, I'm sorry. He doubled leading off the 2nd inning, so he's 1 for 1. Fouled back. 2 outs and nobody on here in the top of the 4th. Only 3 hits in this game so far, so the pitchers are definitely in command.
Yes, they are. It's a pitcher's duel tonight. Normally you'd have probably 6 or 7 hits by now.
Roped into center. And Mitchum is 2 for 2. Trevor Smith in center field. He made the right play on that. If he tries for a shoestring catch, it might get by him, and who knows what could happen. So he kept the ball in front of him, and with 2 outs, Lindsay can still see his way out of this predicament. And there's a ball roped into the gap, and now it gets past Baldermanshine. And the players pick up an extra base. And now Mechanicsburg has a 2-out threat. 2nd and 3rd with 2 outs, and the batter will be Ryan Woods, correction. Jeff McGuire will be the batter.
Base hit now means 2 runs.
Looked dangerous coming off the bat, but he sliced it foul. Key point in the game right here with 2 outs and 2 on. 2 straight hits for Mechanicsburg. Fouled it back. And Mitchell was on that ball in a hurry, just in the event that it was called a wild pitch or a pass ball, but it was clearly fouled. And so Lindsay is now 0-2 to Jeff McGuire. He can see his way out of this inning. Fouled again, and the count stays 0-2. Thrown wildly. No chance. Mitchum scores the go-ahead run, and Woods moves up to third, and it's a 1-2 count to Jeff McGuire. Wild pitch. Mitchell couldn't do anything about that one. It bounced far enough away that Mitchum was able to score. And now McGuire waves at an outside pitch, but the damage is done, at least potentially here. And at the end of 3.5 innings, the score is 2-1 for Mechanicsburg in that inning. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 man left on base. There was 1 error. So at the end of 3.5, Mechanicsburg 2, Gettysburg 1. Run has scored on a wild pitch so far. All right, we're ready for action here in the bottom of the 4th, and it's Coy Mitchell, the catcher leading off. Takes Woods deep, but foul. 0-1. And we have Mitchell, Knox, and Smith, the heart of the order for Gettysburg, and manager Mick Schreiner has got to feel that this is a key point in the game, Greg.
It has to be for him because it's getting down to the last couple innings, and now's the time you got to put the runs up. Let's not wait to the end of the game to do it.
Fouled off his foot, 0-2, and Mitchell swinging that lumber, trying to get a wake-up call to these Gettysburg bats. Fouled again. And interestingly, I believe all 3 runs in this game have scored as a result of the wild pitch pass ball scenario.
Yes, they have, and with these boys, 11 and 12-year-olds, it should never happen.
Low and away, 1-2. The heart of the order, Mitchell, Knox, Smith, Lindsay. This is the time to do it for Gettysburg. Stays alive. Good at bat so far by Mitchell. Count stays 1-2. Virtually no wind to speak of here today. Looks like it's blowing in what wind there is, but really not a factor. 1-2 pitch. Took something off of it. Nice little curve, and Mitchell swung and missed. And that's the first out of the inning. Definitely an off-speed pitch, Greg.
Oh, I would say so. He really had him hooked on that in the whole way.
Joe Knox, cleanup hitter. The right fielder has an assist from right field today. Second time Mitchell has struck out. Knox flied out to the pitcher his first time up. Fouled back.
Joe should be used to this. He played for Rotary this year, which finished up first in their division. And some games they would get behind and they would have to come back. So he's just right for this situation right now.
Second strike. 2-2 is the count. Interestingly, I don't think there's been a walk yet in this game either.
No, there hasn't.
Ground ball, could be trouble. Bobbled. Third baseman Joel Culver couldn't get the handle, slowly hit ball, and Knox is on. Have to see how they score that. I have it listed E5 unofficially. I believe he should have made that play.
So do I. It wasn't that hard a hit of a ball.
That's the thing, though. He knew he had to hurry his throw, and in so doing, he couldn't find the handle, and Knox is alive. He's on first base, regardless of what the scoring is. He's there with 1 out. And Trevor Smith at the plate. Strike called. Low and in the dirt. Catcher Hepner, Dan Hepner, kept it in front of him nicely to prevent an advance by Knox. Breaking ball. Struck him out. Second K of the inning on an off-speed pitch by Woods. He's mixing up his pitches nicely.
Very well tonight.
And Brian Lindsay with a chance to help his own cause here. A pitcher like this, he has more than one pitch. These players are not developed to the point that they can think fastball, breaking ball. I guess you just teach them to stay loose and to hit what they see up there.
Right, you got to follow the ball the whole way in, and as soon as you see the ball, with some of these pitchers that do have the speed, you got to start swinging as soon as you see it.
And Lindsay, good eye up there. 2-0 is the count. That was the 6th strikeout for Woods. Ooh, that was a nice pitch to hit. It looked like it was in his wheelhouse, about letter high, and he just got under it and fouled it back. He's still ahead in the count, though. 2-1 is the count. And Woods is ready again. Inside, 3-1. Should get a good pitch to hit here. Woods doesn't want that tying run to get to second base. He should come in with a fastball, but take nothing for granted. And Brian Lindsay's too tall to give Woods the benefit of that pitch, and we have the first baseline balls of the game, and it moves Joe Knox into scoring position. With 2 outs, Jeff Bowmaster is the batter. And he hit into a fielder's choice his first time up on a ground ball to the shortstop, as did Brian Lindsay. High fastball. What about Jeff Bowmaster on the season, Greg?
He was the main man for Moose. Very good pitcher. Hitting-wise, he was very good there, too.
Roped into right field. Could be a play at the plate. Throw was offline, but the coaching staff did not send Joe Knox. Base hit by Jeff Bowmaster, and now it's Dave Stanek with the bases loaded.
Last inning, Dave drove one deep to left field, but Joe made a good play on it.
He's 1 for 1, batting .250 for the tournament. Strike called. Catcher sprawled to get that one. That's one of those benefit of the doubt calls, I believe. It looked like it was a little bit wide.
I believe so. He was really out there on the outside part of the plate.
0-1 pitch. And moving that ball not only up and down, but in and out, and he's quickly in front of Stanek. 0-2. 2 outs, bases loaded. A key juncture in this contest. Low, 1-2. Struck him out on the curve. The 3rd strikeout victim, all on breaking balls. And for Gettysburg in the 4th, no runs, 1 hit, and 3 men left on base. And at the end of 4, it's Mechanicsburg 2, Gettysburg 1. Mechanicsburg will send up Jeff McGuire, unless there's a substitute in the game. We can't see the numbers from this position. We're in 5th inning action here. Mechanicsburg leading off, and apparently there is a substitution into the game because the umpire is reporting that change.
From what I can see, I believe the number on the boy's back is number 11.
All right. Kevin Keller now into the game for Gettysburg in left field. And this is Fiddler. Fly ball in the center, right center field, falls in safely for a leadoff single for Matt. Strike one called. Mitchell throws it down to Bowmaster. He catches this one, but Fiddler. Man on first, nobody out. Top of the fifth, 2-1 Mechanicsburg. Lindsay in the fifth. Strike two, he's quickly in front, nothing in two.
He kept the last two pitches on the outside corner. Let's see if he goes there again this time.
Looks like he took a little bit off that pitch, but got it up, and it's 1-2 is the count. Base hit. Gets by Trevor Smith. Fiddler going to third. They're going to send him. He scores. And Hefner's into third base. Correction, that was Matt Jordahl pinch hitting for Dan Hefner. Matt Jordahl with a base hit and an outfield error enabled both players to move up 2 extra bases. And now it's 3-1 Mechanicsburg.
Now we have a timeout. Brian Lindsay has gone over to the sideline to talk to his manager, Mick Schreiner.
And manager Schreiner may be contemplating a change here.
Yes, he is. He has moved Trevor Smith into shortstop and Brent Conover out to center field. Maybe a little bit more speed and maybe a little bit better glove.
All right. In any event, there's still nobody out in this inning with Matt Jordahl at third. Jordahl also scored a run against York, so he's a valuable late inning player for this Mechanicsburg team. And Jordahl's at third, where with no outs, a fly ball could bring him home. And the top of the order, Bob O'Pannell. O'Pannell's 1 for 2 today. Tripled in the first inning and scored the first run. And then in the third, he was safe on an error by the second baseman, and ultimately thrown out at third base on a pickoff attempt. Base hit past Trevor Smith. Run scores. And the ball's back into the infield, but now it's 4.
I think now the Mechanicsburg team has found out that they can handle Mr. Lindsay's pitches. Just waiting on that one given down the middle, and they're just taking the bat and putting the bat in the ball.
That's 3 hits in a row and 7 for the game for Mechanicsburg, and they definitely seem to be the better hitting team, at least at this point in the game, but we're a long way from being over. And this is Brendan Gilligan, the right fielder. Ball's wide. O'Pannell trots down to second. O'Pannell 2 for 3 on the day. Shown himself to be a pesky little ball player.
Yes, he has, and I think the Gettysburg manager should start searching his mind into maybe making a change on the mound. Maybe Brian Lindsay is tired.
And another wild pitch moves O'Pannell up to third. Brian Lindsay. 5 strikeouts. Has not walked a batter in 7 yet. And now I spoke too soon. I gave him success, so to speak. And Brendan Gilligan draws the first free pass of the night for Mechanicsburg. First and third, still nobody out. Just turning into a nightmare inning for Gettysburg.
Yes, it has, and if This batter gets the hit, I'm sure the Gettysburg coach would be out on the mound talking to Mr. Lindsay.
Who's the likely candidate?
Well, I'm going to say right now it's probably going to be the shortstop, Trevor Smith.
So he's slowly making his way to the mound, center to short, possibly to the pitching mound, but we'll have to wait and see. And Florio is the batter. And he hits a ground ball. They come home. Dropped the ball. O'Pannell was safe. Stanek went home. Looked like he had the ball there in time. Coy Mitchell couldn't find the handle. It was a close play, and the ball must have just trickled out. And safe at home is O'Pannell with the 5th run of the game for Mechanicsburg. The other runners move up. Florio stays at first on the fielder's choice, and Gilligan goes all the way to 3rd.
Well, it looks like the Gettysburg catcher got hurt in that play. Mick Schreiner is out looking at his hand. I believe he might have got his thumb or something around his hand jammed on that play.
They got something they're going to spray on his hand, looks like. Some sort of anti-swelling spray.
Yeah, it's a cold spray that they put on to keep the swelling down. More than likely after the inning's over, when he goes in the dugout, they'll probably put ice on it to keep it down for the rest of the game.
Coy Mitchell's an imposing figure back there. Any other players who catch on even a semi-regular basis here for this team?
The only other one that I would know of would be Dave Stanek, the third baseman, which he could come in and catch the Elk a bit this past year.
All right. Still nobody out. 1st and 3rd, and Joel Culver, the cleanup hitter, is ready to take his turn at the plate. And now there is a pitching change.
Bowmaster.
Jeff Bowmaster is moving over from first, and Brian Lindsay slides over to first base. After the pitching change, we're back in the top of the 5th. Still nobody out. 2 runs home already. 1st and 3rd. Cleanup batter Joel Culver at the plate. First pitch from Bowmaster is a strike.
Well, the Gettysburg coach outguessed me on that. I would have brought in a shortstop, but I would imagine with Mr. Bowmaster's sidearm delivery, he figures that that'll baffle the Mechanicsburg players.
And did Bowmaster pitch a bit during the regular season?
Yes, he did, and it was very baffling to all the players. I just seen there, the catcher tried an attempt to throw down the shortstop to maybe get the runner at 3rd to go to home, and they could pick him off at home then.
But Brendan Gilligan would have none of it, and he stayed planted firmly at 3rd. So they sent Florio back to 1st. What was the call there, do you know?
I think both of them were balls.
In any event, he moved up on that play, and now they're 2nd and 3rd, 1 out. Bowmaster trying to dispose of Joel Culver here with 2 on, and still nobody out in this nightmare of a 5th inning for Gettysburg. Drilled foul. So he's ahead in the count. He's got 2 strikes on Culver. He just wants to punch him out here.
Jeff Bowmaster has to be very careful here, or maybe the batter is going to take it what we call downtown over the fence, and it's going to be a 3-run homer.
2-2, just up a little bit high and a little wide. I assume Culver's not batting cleanup as a coincidence. I imagine he has that type of power.
Very big boy, very big. I would say he's probably in the neighborhood of probably 5'4", which is very big in Little League.
And he plays the hot corner on defense. Full count. Ground ball. Trevor Smith, nice play. But a run scores on the ground ball. Fine play by Trevor Smith. for the first out. And on the play, Brendan Gilligan comes in to score the 6th run for Mechanicsburg. And on the play, Florio made it to 3rd. This is Bryce Mitchum. He's 2 for 2 in the game with a single and a double. Culver, the cleanup batter, is now 0 for 3, and that's a strike. 1-1 is the count. But Mitchum has doubled in the 2nd and singled and scored in the 4th. And he's 3 for 3. Ah, foul ball. From our angle, it looked like it was close to that chalk line, but obviously it was foul by inches.
Ball was pitched inside, and he just turned his hips enough that he got the bat on it and almost did get it inside the line.
Here's Bowmaster. That ball's deep to center field. Conover catches it, but Florio tags up and scores the 7th run. And Mitchum's now 2 for 2 with an RBI. And it's 7-1 Mechanicsburg. 5 runs in this inning. Started out as a 2-1 pitcher's duel, and now it's just falling apart for Gettysburg. Nice catch. Beautiful diving, saving catch by S.L. Stanton to end the inning. But the damage is done for Mechanicsburg in the 5th. 5 runs on only 3 hits. And at the end of 4 1/2 innings, Mechanicsburg 7, Gettysburg 1. And Kevin Keller will lead off for Gettysburg here in the bottom of the 5th, and he'll be followed by the top of the order, S.L. Stanton, who made that beautiful catch, and then Brent Conover. Woods' first offering, ball in the dirt, ball in the strikes to Kevin Keller. Woods has been pitching a pretty nice game here, Greg.
Yes, he Gettysburg hitters. If he keeps doing that the rest of the night, I should see no trouble in Mechanicsburg winning a ball game.
Well, he struck out 7 and he's walked only 1. And the count is even, 2-2 to Kevin Keller. They need runners now. They're down by 6. I'm sorry, it was 2-1, and now the count is even at 2-2. This is the first at bat for Kevin Keller. He entered the game in the top part of this inning. Good eye on that one. Full count. Anything close, he's got to take a whack at it, though. You can't.
Yes, he does. He can't wait for it to be in his strike zone.
Good eye. That brings up S.L. Stanton. He was hit by a pitch and scored Gettysburg's only run in the top of the 1st. Struck out in the 3rd. He's 0 for 2, 0 for 1 rather, and he's hitting 400 for this tournament.
Maybe that long inning from Mechanicsburg last inning has affected the pitcher. He's thrown six pitches, and 5 of them have been balls.
Now he evens the count at 1-1. He also had to run the bases, and out in the hot sun, sometimes that can take a toll on a pitcher.
Yes, it can. It just takes it right out of you.
Stanton had thoughts. He was tempted on that slow curve, but it was well out of the strike zone, and he wisely held off. Three and 1. He might take this pitch. I think the Mechanicsburg staff wants to check out Ryan Woods and to see how he's feeling.
There's a minute and a half left to go. He'd be better off to give him maybe this batter here, and if he walked him, I would be tempted to pull him.
In any event, the conference is over and Woods is back on the mound. And Stanton getting ready to get back in the box. 3-1. Will he take one pitch here, Greg?
I would think he would, especially on 3-on-1. He still has one to come back on to try and make contact with and put it into play.
I agree. They need runners. And that's exactly what he did. Batters here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
You get a good time, too, because the meter of their order is coming up. They're 2, 3, 4, and 5 hitters right now.
And this is Brent Conover. He struck out twice. Nothing to show for today's action. Batting .333 in the tournament. And Woods is over with that one. Woods has now walked 3 and hit a batter. Looked like Conover helped him a little bit on that pitch.
Yeah, it was high and inside.
2 on, nobody out. We're back here at Rec Park, and we had some brief technical difficulties, but we're back in action here in the top of the 6th inning. You missed Joe Knox grounded out to third baseman Culver, and he got a force out at third. And
first batter up for Mechanicsburg this inning, he bunted back to the third baseman. The pitcher, and the pitcher threw him out at first. The next batter...
Yeah, that was Matt Fiddler, I believe, who's safe on that E5. I think we have a new player in the game for Gettysburg.
Yeah, at third base now it's Kenny Kump.
Kenny Kump, number 14 for Gettysburg.
They have a new right fielder, too. It's Brian Caffrey. And a new left fielder is Jason Towson.
So all the Gettysburg players have now seen action. And Bowmaster's still on the mound. Fouled back. That's Matt Jordahl at the plate. He's 1 for 1, came in that devastating 5th inning from Gettysburg's perspective, singled and came around to score. And now he's 2 for 2 and ropes that ball down to left field line, and he's held to a single as Fiddler stopped at second.
Left fielder made a very good play on that. He got to the ball quick, and then he threw it into the third base.
It wasn't graceful, but Jason Townsend kept that ball in front of him, and that's the key point there. He didn't let it get beyond him and held the runners to only one base. Nice play by Trevor Smith. Wisely got that lead runner, and that was O'Pannell, the pesky O'Pannell, leading off. He had been 2 for 3, and now he's 2 for 4 on that fielder's choice.
I think Gettysburg's manager now has got to the fact that maybe he has no chance to catch up, and he's playing these other boys to give them a little bit more experience.
And Brent Conover tried to sneak in behind Jordahl, but Jordahl would have none of it. Kenny Kump steps on third. And that'll retire the side for Mechanicsburg. No runs, 1 hit. There was 1 error, and 2 men left on base. And we head to the last of the 6th. Mechanicsburg leading 7-1.
Now Gettysburg has to come up with 7 runs here to win the ball game. And it's very possible that they can do it if they get their bats going and keep their eye on the ball.
All right, and a very special assist tonight to Mr. Bruce Gillen. Do I have that name correct?
I think the name that we got off the gentleman down the line here.
We had a very special assist from Mr. Bruce Gillen, who provided us with an emergency power pack. Adams Community Television, as you know, is an all-volunteer organization. So if you have an interest in local TV, get involved. Give us a call at 334-3000. We head into the final frame, the last hope for Gettysburg. And leading off will be Trevor Smith, followed by Brian Lindsay and Jeff Bowmaster.
Well, we have two guys there, Trevor Smith and Brian Lindsay. They've hit very well through the season at Gettysburg Little League. They can still come out here and do the same thing, and I'm sure if Mick Schreiner gets the boys in there and gets their heads back into the game, I think they'll come out here and maybe score 1 or 2 runs, at least make it a little bit closer ball game.
And Ryan Woods is going all the way for Mechanicsburg. He struck out 9, walked 3. Trevor Smith, hard ground ball over to Culver. He's got a gun for an arm, and he throws him out. That's the first time Culver has had a chance to show his arm, and quite strong.
Yes, I seen him the other day on the mound when they played York, and he had a gun on the mound there. He was really throwing the fastball at the York players.
That's 1 down. Brian Lindsay comes to the plate. In the second inning, he was safe on a fielder's choice. And in the 4th, he drew a walk. So he's 0 for 1 in this game, 0 for 4 in the tournament. And now he wants a different bat. Ryan Woods has been in command of his pitches all night. And that ball is grounded up the middle, base hit, and it gets by the center fielder. And Lindsay's heading for second. And the throw gets by, but Woods is there to back it up. And I don't know how they'll score that. Single and an error.
They'll probably end up giving him a single and an error on that play because the center fielder should have had that. It just barely missed his glove, but he still should have had it.
And Jeff Bowmaster comes to the plate with Brian Lindsay at second, 1 out. Bottom of the 6th. Strike 1 is the call. Last chance for Gettysburg. They trail 7-1, and they need a miracle. Woods with the bender. That one's wide, and 1-1 is the count.
Yeah, maybe we can go to an old Yogi Berra adage where the game ain't over until it's over.
That's right. Nothing square about a 2-out rally, although we only have 1 out right now. And anything's possible in this game. That's why you have 3 outs.
Yes, in Little League, you can get a pitcher at any time that he can lose control very quick.
Inside corner. Bowmaster got out of the way of that one, but apparently he was crowding the plate, and that one caught the inside corner. Bender. That number 2 pitch, that curveball, he got it right over, and Bowmaster called out looking. Bowmaster had come into this inning 1 for 2 on the game.
I don't think that the Gettysburg boys have seen very many curveballs thrown at them this year in our league here in Gettysburg. But this in the district tournament, they're really getting to see what a curveball really looks like.
They're getting a little bit of lesson in the curveball, and there was another one to Kenny Kump, now the third baseman. So he represents the last hope for Gettysburg. Big left-handed swinger. And he looks that one off, and it's Woods can see the end here.
2-1.
2-1's the count. 2-2. The last thing you want is to be called out looking with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th. So let's hope that he swings away with that heavy metal.
Yeah, he has a chance to put one over as big as the boy is.
And Woods does present some velocity when he pitches that fastball.
Yes, and right now is the payoff pitch, either ball 4 or strike 3, and the game's over.
And here it is. Curveball, close, but Kump got the benefit of that call. And now Gettysburg has first and second with 2 outs. And
I think this is Jason Towson up to bat.
all right. I thought you were flashing an 8 to me. Our communications signals need a little work here in the booth, but Greg Marvin's been my guest analyst tonight. He's done an outstanding job. And that's Jason Townsend, who did a nice job of keeping that ball in front of him in the last half inning. Dangerous play. You don't want to get thrown out at third to end the game, but Brian Lindsay, luckily for him and for the entire coaching staff, was safe. And so both runners move up a base, second and third, 2 outs.
Count 2 balls, 1 strike on the batter. Let's hope that Jason can work the pitcher to maybe a 3-1 count or maybe a 4-ball count to get down to first and load the bases up.
Fly ball, could be the ball game. O'Pannell grabs it, and Mechanicsburg wins the game 7-1. They advance in the winner's bracket. Gettysburg, on the other hand, is still very much alive. They go now into the loser's bracket. Next game will be, I believe, Thursday night.
I believe that's when the next game is, and I believe that Gettysburg will more than likely play the winner of the Camp Hill York game tomorrow night.
All right, Greg, and that will be July 19th for further action in this tournament. But tonight's game was won by Mechanicsburg 7-1, and we'll be right back with a wrap-up in just a minute. Jeff Cook for Adams Community Television. Post-game analysis here. Quickly, the statistical review for Mechanicsburg: 7 runs on 8 hits. Gettysburg 1 run on only 4 hits. The pitching line: Brian Lindsay walked 5, or rather struck out 5, only walked 1. So the control we talked about at the outset was there, but unfortunately, by keeping the ball around the plate, it seemed like the Mechanicsburg batters caught up with him eventually. For Ryan Woods, the winning pitcher tonight, went the distance, 6 innings, struck out 10, walked 4, 1 hits batsman. Greg, your thoughts on keys to the game?
Well, I think the key of the game, it was 2-1 all the way along to about the 3rd inning, and then Gettysburg had some fielding problems with them. And I believe at the onset of the night, I think I've stated that the key to the game is going to be Gettysburg going airless in the ball game and playing a good defensive ball game, which they didn't do tonight, and I think that's what cost them the game.
But as we mentioned, they're still alive. Best of luck to Gettysburg players, manager Mick Schreiner and his staff and his players. We wish them well from here on. Tonight's action, unfortunately, victimized by the bender. Ryan Wood's curveball seemed like it was working magnificently tonight.
Yeah, it worked good for him all night. He knew right when to throw it. He got 2 strikes on the batters, and the next thing you know, here comes that great big bender in there, and the Gettysburg boys would stand there and watch it the whole way.
He froze him with it. He iced the game, and Mechanicsburg advances in the winner's bracket. A winner tonight, 7-1. So special thanks to Bruce Gillen, as we mentioned, for bailing us out in a jam. a little bit of relief pitching with our equipment, as you might say. Special thanks to cameraman John Tannen, and real pleasure, Greg Marvin, to have you with us here tonight. Greg, thank you for being with us. And to all you viewers out there, thank you for being with us on Adams Community Television, Channel 28 on your Salmon's dial. Watch us, get involved. See you next time around. This is Jeff Cook for Adams Community Television. Good night.